Doing some revisions to water flow. And then I'll be getting back to vegetation. I've got some plans for vegetation that should be interesting. Alright, this general world real quick. So we wanted to use our new prepare water flow variables. Where did we put debug prep? I don't need to worry about debug prep. All right, here's our elevation list. New reveal. Trying to titillate you. All right. So what we have now is the list of every single tile in the game from highest elevation to lowest elevation. I'd like to really quickly do a few things. I want to log a few things out. So I'm going to disable burst for now. I want to get a few metrics to see what kind of performance gains we're going to get. First things first. Let's verify our world size. Num land tiles. Let's get number of land tiles specifically. And that's going to be tile count. Tiles. Let's do a real quick loop here. And let's see, each time if what would it be, tile dot from int I think. Dot ID is actually is lands equals true. I think I'm still getting used to this new syntax here. True? What's the right? Okay. If true, then we'll just tick up the number of land tiles. 2 days in a row. Hopefully this isn't just a one-off. My plan is to start slacking off more with my day job to make time for songs. So I think that's all we should need. Land tiles. Num times num flow tiles. Okay, so now we're going to count in our old model the number of times we flowed, number of times water had to flow over tiles with the old model. So the way that we would do that is we would locate um, no higher neighbors. Water flow from tile to tile. Here we go. Used our. Gotta remind myself of what was going on with the logic here. If elevation difference is 0, it can be inferred that we have no tiles lower than the target tile, therefore... Oops. Therefore... why can't I move? Oh, here we go. There. Therefore, it should construct a lake. Oh, that's right. All right, here, yeah, this is where we resized lakes. We had prep for next round. Okay, so we can actually just take the sum. We can just add the sum of this to number of flow tiles. Which new tiles are added to our water flow list? Plus equals. Water flow now. Length. Okay, that should do it. So now let's go ahead and print out all of these guys. We want to do it at the end though. Finalize results, clean up. Okay, we can do it here. Okay, here's all the variables we want to express. So we could just say world size. We don't even need a variable for it, technically. I don't know why we did. What we needed was tile count. Number of land tiles. Number of flow tiles. Land tiles. Flow tiles. This right here, so this is key. This is going to tell us how many times we had to check a tile in the process of water flow. And so if that number is really high, then that means we can have a lot of potential performance gains. Whoops, I shouldn't have saved while Unity was running. Okay. Do legs take into account the 3D volume of the bed? Whoops. Yes, it does. So there's a certain amount of volume that each lake has. In addition to its salinity and things like that. Lakes are something I did want to do a little more work on eventually. One of the problems we have right now is, uh-oh, what the hell? What's going on? Oh yeah, that's right. It's no longer burst compiled. Oops. Generating water bodies, generating dynamic lakes. That's interesting. Oh, okay. All right, I see. So basically, world size 1 million tiles, land tiles 47,000, 473,000. And then we had around 5,267,000 tiles checked. So for every tile that existed on land, we checked it 10 times. So you can see how inefficient that is. And yeah, ecology is going to get redone, but we have to do a few things with water. We need to account for seasonal water flow, so that some rivers and some streams will be seasonal, depending on seasonal rainfall. Some won't, because you have pretty uniform. Well, I'm trying to think. This gets a little more complicated because we're going to have to deal with some seasonal. No. Okay, so yeah, we can, in theory, optimize water flow by a factor of 10. So I want you to go back to where you were. Whatever. Okay. How do we do that? Back to gen dynamic lakes. So first, excuse me. Well, let's leave burst off. First started watching this stream when I was in my first year of university, and I'm graduating in a couple of months with a software engineering degree. Cool. Congratulations. Yeah, that's pretty common, Captain. Okay. Here's the thing, though. This kind of changes everything. Is all we're going to do. We don't need to have all of these gazillion loops. We don't need to be resizing vectors or any of that stuff. So I remember what we did here. This We may be able to leave this the way it is. But the while loop here, while, yeah, it goes all the way down here. We don't need a while loop anymore, though, because we're not going to be rebuilding our various lists. All right, let's do this. Let's punt all of this down. This we can get rid of. Let's come up with our new plan. If all goes well, we should only ever need to iterate through the whole list once. Because as we iterate down from highest to lowest, no tile which is currently highest in the list will ever receive water again. And will only be giving water to tiles which are lower than itself. It'd be great if this works. One thing I wonder, though, is for the sake of time, I'm wondering whether I should just leave things as they are. Because it's not adding a heck of a lot of time to world gen. The place where I want to make the most gains is in recalculating it every season. Because ideally what I want to do is every time the climate changes, each time we have some climate stochasticity, I'd like to be able to recalculate water flow. But water flow has been pretty hefty up until now. So this revision helps. I wonder if we just need to make a new job, leave things as they are right here. Let's see. Gen water bodies, gen preliminary water bodies, gen dynamic lakes, gen rivers job. And then that's it. So the question is, what if we see, but then we gen soils, which is tricky. Which we've disabled for the time being. Well, that's skis, but then you've kind of got like a permafrost situation, don't you? If water is being incapable of penetrating at all due to the ground being turned to ice or being frozen. I mean, yeah. But typically, what happens, from my understanding, is once the snow begins to melt, and you have spring and summer rains, like you have a lot of water which is stored in the soil. Good question. I mean, permafrost is not a. I mean, permafrost sounds like it's permanent, but there's variation seasonally. But yeah, I wonder. Let's look that up real quick. Groundwater in permafrost regions. Geological survey. I do not see anything. Oh, here we go. Interesting. Let's read the abstracts. The groundwater in permafrost regions in Alaska occurs according to the same geologic and hydrologic principles prevailing in temperate regions. Subfreezing temperatures result in profound modification of groundwater flow. Right. Frozen ground is an impermeable layer which restricts recharge, discharge, and movement of groundwater. So yeah, it does. I would suspect that it also prevents some water loss to the atmosphere, acts as a confining layer. It limits the volume of unconsolidated deposits in bedrock in which liquid water may be stored. Frozen ground in many areas eliminates shallow aquifers and requires that wells be drilled deeper. I think that kind of answers our question, doesn't it? But I bet you have some penetration elsewhere. Let's read a little bit more. Little is known about the effects of permafrost and low water temperatures on the quality of groundwater. The restricted circulation imposed by permafrost boundaries may increase the concentration of dissolved solids in groundwater. Makes sense. Low ground temperatures above and below permafrost result in groundwater temperatures ranging from 0 to blah, blah. Right, and this is something I suspected too. Groundwater is more viscous and moves more slowly than in temperate regions. So you basically, not only would you lose less of the water in the soil to the atmosphere, but you'd also lose less to movement of the water below the soil column. Local variation, thickness, area, blah, blah, blah. Groundwater occurs above, below, locally. Oh, that's interesting. The most economically developed sources of water are an unfrozen alluvium beneath large lakes and rivers. Makes sense. Water is brackish or saline in bedrock beneath permafrost in much of this zone, draining the Arctic Ocean. Yeah, it sounds about right. There are giant swamps in Siberia. I'm pretty sure they're in almost permafrost zone. Yeah, well, any place that you have enough surficial water, then you're going to have, sort of thick enough, deep enough surficial water, then the ice is going to be insulating it from completely freezing. It's freezed locally from shallow aquifers. I mean, for gameplay purposes, I think this is informative enough. But thanks for bringing it up, actually, because that's something an angle we hadn't really explored. Although we have thought about permafrost in the past for vegetation concerns, severely damages the ability of rooting plants to colonize. So I need to figure out now how we want to handle this issue. Maybe, does this variable exist yet? This variable that we want? Okay, we can get rid of you because we're not going to put you here. We're going to just leave the code intact as it is. We're going to go ahead and comment you out. Guess I could have just mass commented. All right. Okay. So I'm thinking we'll leave all of our alluvial soil generation stuff in place. The net water flow is all we really need in that case. So the question is, where do we want to apply this? Probably in vegetation. Let's re-enable. Oh wait, that's weird. When was hydrology? When was soils disabled? Soils, if soils set. I don't remember generating rivers. I don't know, they do seem to be getting... Oh, no, we're good. Yeah, and then it's just... No, soils. Why isn't soils generating bedrock buffers? Why the hell are you disabled? Soils. Why aren't you up here? That's weird. Hold on a second. Did I accidentally, like... Weird. Generating water bodies. Are we not generating soil here? Weird. Let's just Gentle World real quick. That is Moana in the background. You can hear Hey Hey shouting. No farming favorability. Okay, so for some reason, yeah, no soil. Oh wait, there's soil permeability. So do we have nothing? Grass, conifers, broadleaves, plant biomass, conifer height, blah 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 blah. Humidity, soil depth, soil texture. Weird. What is going on? Is there? And then we have all of our rivers modifying texture. No, they're not. Or are they? Or maybe they are. Something feels off here. Region soils, if soils, but there's no soils. Let me see here. Let me get in touch with Glandial. That's, yeah, Vilcatsis. That's something I'll have to do later. This is mainly vegetation oriented because we need. Right now we have giant gallery forests along every single river, even if they're supposed to be seasonal rivers. Hey. Trying to figure out why all of the soil code appears commented out of world generator.cs. Was it just deleted or something? Maybe? Oh, maybe I just deleted it by accident. Okay, there. Oh, there's all the alluvial stuff. Okay, let me go ahead and regen this world. Yeah, I think the Nile did have. I mean, the northern Sahara wasn't a desert, so I mean that was part of the reason too, right? Because we were coming out of the Ice Age. The northern Sahara was actually pretty reasonably green. I had a great Google Earth layer that showed all of it. It was pretty cool. Okay. All right, let's check now. let's see if we can get some soil metrics. Oh, still don't have farming favorability. Oh, that's because vegetation's disabled. But here, let's look at our soil conditions. Dominant vegetation, broadleaf wind. Okay, so we got some good soil depth here. How does this correspond to height map? Oh, okay, good. So we got soil depth, good soil depth in the flattest places. That looks accurate. Soil texture, good, nice and smoothed. Mineral richness looks good. Everything seems to be in working order. Except farming favorability because we've disabled vegetation. Good, soil texture seems to be modified pretty well. Yes, it would, Svatkins, Captain. Whew. Talk about lots of silt. Ooh, but that's because... Yeah, I don't think we properly tuned soil texture subsidy for smaller worlds. We'll have to deal with that later. I'll be right back, by the way. Yeah, our super glacier, I think, is spewing silt like all over the place. I'll fix that later. I guess for now, I'm thinking maybe I'll put um, I'll do a test run. Let's activate vegetation, which is screwy right now, but whatever. Oops. Tropical desert. When we talk about the Green Sahara, it was not a lush tropical zone with forests. There were vast grasslands, green or brown depending on location and period. I think you would have had. I would think you would have had some woodland along the coasts. I mean, because you even had it in recent history, right? But yeah, you get out toward the interior, and no, there wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have just been like the Congo or something. You would have had grazing animals and stuff like that. So I'd expect almost you'd have kind of like a band of forest along the coast, especially along the mountains. And then, an expansion of the forest in in the modern day Sahel. I mean, because technically you're supposed to have forests even today. Some denser forest, but deforestation has stunted it. Oh goodness. Generating vegetation is suddenly taking a lot longer. I wonder why that is. Hmm. We do need to re-enable burst here. I wonder if that's messing things up. Huh, farming favorability is still busted. Why is that? Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with vegetation. Can I do more than just peak? Go through definition. There we go. Hmm. Oh. Um, Clandial, where was the old vegetation code? Because I think that included the farming efficiency. You can go away. Or was it deltas? No. I don't think it was deltas. Vegetation, floral sim. I could have sworn. Okay. Races, fixed elevation. Let's just check the whole project. Power favorability, demi and utility functions. Oh, wait, was it just a function? Maybe? Gen vegetation, yeah. So where the heck were you? Yeah, okay, so here's our definition of it. Telegraphs. None of this runs anymore. So up here we had it imported. Down here is where we calculated it. Alright, maybe what I'll do is just... Okay, soil depth, water factor. Alright. It's here. We'll leave it here for now. We can live without it for the time being. Maybe we just make a test job of some kind. So, Cal, you said we no longer have to express which variables we're passing to new jobs. So maybe we can go through creating a new job now, a test job, just so I understand how the new system works. Yeah, we can do that. Hold on. I'm just going to go ahead and sort of create a test job to test the new water flow system. I'm going to leave all of the previous water flow stuff in place, since that's a whole Pandora's box we don't necessarily need to open. And it's all just running once. And so in order to get the vegetation faster, I'm just going to test out the method in its own job, and then we can append it to vegetation if it's... Okay. All right, so I guess maybe...
I need to make a new job to start with.
Okay.
You need to make a new struct in a file. In a new file, preferably.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So just make a new CS file.
Yeah.
Would be appropriate. Actually, let me just grab a template. Okay. World Gen Systems. Burst compiled. Okay. So I'm guessing we no longer need all of these declarations up here.
Is this the file you are already using?
Say again?
What are you trying to do? Because if you remove it from now, it's gonna break the job. You're making a new job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first you need to declare the method. You don't want to pass anything, just targeting code.
Oh. Sorry, repeat that?
Every job has an entry point called execute that the method needs to operate. If you look at gen dynamic place and scroll down a little, here's the entry point, public void execute in line 59.
Right. Oh, right.
So you want this in every job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just start writing your code. You don't need to declare anything or anything like that. You just start writing the for loop over the files, and that's it.
Okay. Is there anything different as far as actually, first off, let me save this.
But actually, before you make a job, you should ask yourself if the operation you're writing is independent of other types.
Oh. Well, no, it isn't.
Okay, then never mind. Because if it were, you would want to use a parallel for job.
We'd want to multi-thread it.
When you write a for loop inside the execute method, okay. Can you change length to tiles of count? Now, inside the for loop, you basically want something like this. And from there, you can just use this tile as an quote-unquote object.
Right.
And everything else should be self-explanatory.
Right. Okay, so the only thing... Okay, let me go ahead and save this.
Uppercase T. It's uppercase T. Well, that's not how you add files to project Unity, by the way.
Crap, I think I would need to add it from Unity, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right, and then just rename it from there.
Yes, you right click in an empty space in the file explorer the inside community. It doesn't really work. Just right click somewhere.
I'm going to put it here since it's pertinent to plant growth in this case.
And then create and C# script.
Right. Okay. As far as its presence in World Generator CS, I guess I can add it to. I can have it called from the vegetation section.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yes. So like, just type maybe before the message.
Yeah.
Because it's something else.
Right.
So now you want to type in new and then the name of your job.
That's easy.
Then parentheses. No, that's not how it goes. You also need the parentheses and brackets. You want to open and close parentheses. Then no, not inside parentheses. Outside parentheses. Oh my goodness. In line 658, you can do the same line because they will be empty. The brackets will be empty. It's after the parentheses.
Okay. Oh, so just.
Yeah, here. Now, after the brackets, press dot and type in run. Run, as in, yeah. Or actually, schedule, not run, sorry. Schedule. It's a function, so schedule and parentheses. And the schedule is uppercase because function is uppercase in C#.
Okay.
And you want to assign it to a variable called J. So
Where? Real quick. Okay, so this run on cores is when you want to parallelize it.
No, run on course is something I made so that Thorazine works both in sequential and parallel formulas.
Okay.
It's not something you would find on normal jobs.
Okay.
Because if you recall, you told me you wanted to make charts inside a simulation, and charts only work in single-threaded code.
Okay.
So there is some tricks of like arrays to make it work. But anyhow, you want to assign that thing to a variable called J. J is equal. J is a job handle. No, it's already declared. And then you can copy lines 949 and 950 and paste them after the job.
Okay, so J is just is declared someplace earlier, and then it just gets reassigned as sort of like the current job is going to be. Yeah.
You also want to set message before this. So we know what's happening. Yeah, set message. No, set message is a function. And then you just type in whatever you're doing. Yeah, and that should do it.
Okay.
There's an issue with Jensen flow. It doesn't see the function, doesn't see the class. So you might have to right click it and see what's wrong. Yeah, if you right click this and click on quick actions and refactorings at the very top.
Right.
Okay, so it doesn't understand where it is, which is weird. Because it should say it. Did you save your file?
Yes.
Did you add it in Unity?
It should be in Unity.
Oh, maybe it's critical file.
Oh, I think it's catching up at the moment. Okay.
Okay, so
Maybe now.
in Word Generator. Maybe we just save it until it happens in Unity. If you need to register errors, we'll know that something is wrong. You send that Visual Studio.
Yeah, let's see.
Well,
Yeah.
Unity is fine with it, so I'm not sure why Visual Studio is having issues.
Gens, let me make sure I've...
The problem is because it doesn't understand that this file exists.
Let me close everything and well, it's not going to make any difference.
Do we have using gem the word gen system at the top of word generator?
Using gem...
Inside word generator. At the very top of this thing. Yes, we do. Line 17. So it should be visible to Visual Studio. I'm not sure why it doesn't say it. There's something wrong with it. I'm not sure why your Visual Studio is freaking out so often.
Hold on. Is there a dumber is there a stupider reason why this might be
Can you
happening?
remove the error messages?
The type... Hold on, let me go to the actual error list.
Yeah, here.
The type or namespace name gen C...
I was interested in what project is in, and this assembly C#. Can you close and open Visual Studio?
Yeah.
We got a glitch or something. Is it double click or something?
Now let me open up. Now it's cool with it. Alright, well.
Yeah, so this will have this temporary glitch. So yeah, now you have your job and you can start writing code.
Alright, cool. Let's see.
Yeah, this seems to work. What's wrong?
No, I'm looking for how many iterations of the vegetation model is.
Not the word generator. It cannot be defined here because this function is only used for game time.
Right. Oh, right. So
964 is apart from configs. By default, it's set to 500. So you can change it in game UI.
Okay.
In the sideboard.
Okay. All right. Cool. I guess in theory, this could be integrated into this vegetation loop, couldn't it?
Yes, it could, but if you do it that way, then you can't use this job for game time, and you have to duplicate code, which is silly.
Well, wouldn't it depend on whether that's what we actually want?
But
Like
you said you want this code in vegetation.
Well, I mean, it's something that always occurs before vegetation, right? I mean, right now I want it to be discrete and separate to sort of measure how performant it is, but I think the long-term idea is that if it's really performant, then we can just stick it in front of vegetation growth and just have it run, then the vegetation loop. I guess it would be climate, water flow.
I'm very confused. This flora sim is the vegetation code.
What's that?
This job is vegetation. It's code. It's growing plants.
Yeah, this is a vegetation code, but what I'm saying is I'm considering integrating seasonal water flow in with,
It's already integrated with this function. I mean, integrating with this function is trivial because in your code in Python, you had a place where you pulled water flow data from your structures, and I replaced it with a function that looks at the type of what you're simulating to determine which variable to pull from the type. So it's going to pull water flow January in January and water flow July in July.
Right, but right now this is just going to run once as opposed.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is, so to start from the top, I want the vegetation code to be able to capture the yearly variation in climate conditions. And then I also want seasonal water flow to respond to it as well, right? So a tile in a given place, if there's a drought, that tile will not only experience the rainfall influence of a drought, but also the water flow influence of a drought too, right?
Okay, I think the best way to handle that would be to put this thing inside the entire loop.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right. Because I guess like the one thing that's easy to forget is like you can have a drought in theory. You can have very little rainfall at the Nile River Delta, but if you don't have a drought, all the way in Ethiopia, then you're still getting the water subsidy, right?
Well, yes.
And vice versa. And so that's what I'm trying to capture here with the whole ordeal to begin with. All right, so that's fine. Yeah, what I'll do now is I'll leave it discreetly outside just to test it, and then I'll see. I'll see how performant it is.
One issue you may encounter is that seasonal variations are calculated as seasons pass. They're not determined at the start of the year. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they're considered per. What can you say that again?
Per month.
Per month.
Calculated every month.
Right.
So your water flow, you would need to add climatics to this scheduler, basically. It's like you would have to calculate seasonal flow based on current rain, I think, instead of using January rain or July rain. Because if you use those, I think it won't capture seasonal variations like droughts. That makes sense.
Right.
Could you maybe take a look at fluorescing?
Take a look at what? Oh, fluorescent.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the definition. So, could you scroll down a little? I'm going to show you one bit inside it. Okay. Can you scroll out a tiny bit more? Like a few lines down. Yeah, stop. Okay, so line 156 and up. You have this if else statement. So what happens here is that I added a variable to the structure, which lets us control what data we're pulling from the tile. And I'm pulling the data here so that we can use it for both world gen time, with fluorescing time January, July, and for game type, where we pull data using get rainfall functions of January rainfall or July rainfall. And I think you should do something similar in your job so that we can easily apply it to both months, without having to schedule it during game time before all the presentation goes. That makes sense.
So, okay. Hold on a second.
Because you will want to use data from January to calculate water flow for January, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be better. It would be easiest if we pull water flow input data using something like this if-else structure.
Okay. To be clear, I guess when I don't know how to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our climate ticks.
Yes.
But a climate tick is monthly.
Yes.
And you said they're linearly interpolated or whatever. So
yes.
January and July should be a reasonable capture of the seasons they represent, sort of like
yes.
mean values. So is there a way to just integrate water flow and vegetation so that they simply occur on like tick 1 and tick 7 of the climate ticks. Just make it part of the climate tick cycle.
Yes, that's how it's set up in the game time.
Okay. So yeah, so as far as the world generator is concerned,
As far as Forgen is concerned, I would do it similar. I would put your seasonal water flow job inside this for loop you have here. And I would use a trick similar to what I have in Prorasim, where you have where we have three possibilities, where you either pull data from tile January rainfall, or from tile July rainfall, or from tile get rainfall. Because then we can use January and July for WatchGen, but we can use get rainfall for current rainfall in game time, so we can have droughts act upon water flow.
yeah. I'm trying to sort how we handle this. I guess part of the issue is I'm trying to sort what role the initial world gen vegetation generation is playing here, because without having the climate variation, we can't really properly have the effects of flash freeze and forest fires and things like that.
I think the best use for this is to initialize plants. Like whenever we talk about the need for some kind of plant initialization.
Yeah, it's a little complicated though, because what's going to happen is you're going to have some biomes which are radically lagging behind, like tropical forests, tropical rainforests, and then you're going to have other biomes like temperate forests become outrageously dense, and then the second. But let me finish. They're going to basically turn into raging infernos the second you implement the runtime version, because then you're going to have huge forest fires because they overgrew because the forest fires hadn't trimmed them back earlier.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm saying we can add variations to this group.
Say again.
We can add climate variations to this group.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could just integrate the same system.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah.
But in that case, I'm gonna rewrite this loop a little bit. I'm gonna push it so it's set up with climate variation for you.
Okay.
And then you can just use get rainfall to get your rainfall, as opposed to using July rainfall or January rainfall.
Yeah, that'd be good. And so then we can just treat it, and really even just use the same code.
It will take long.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. In that case, I'll probably just start out with working on that seasonal rainfall code. And you said the variables are currently in for January and July water flow.
Sorry, repeat.
Oh, the January and July water flow variables are already in. Ran the Lua script on them and everything.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't remember if we have a map mod for them. I think we do.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick break, eat some lunch, and then I'll come back and work on that.
Alrighty, and then hopefully when you come back, you'll have the two variations in Bornholm.
Oh, I don't have an intermission screen anymore. Bugger. Oh well. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay. Screen. Oh, there it is. Cool. Okay. On to some code, finally. All right. So it's going to run this job. Let's verify that it's working. No way, no way. Oops. Okay. All right, so the job works just fine. Let's grab the code we need. All right, now we can start sorting out the logic. Water is gonna travel from top tile to lowest tile. Maybe we can iterate through the list first, let's make sure it's working. Element 0 is going to be the highest individual. So we have this new variable, elevation list. So elevation list. No, but I'm just checking the tile, right? And I want to make that tile from the elevation list. So it's going to be tile dot no we shit. Oh wait, okay. Variable tile, so we want to make a tile to operate with, but tiled out from int, we want how do we get it from the list though? Because I believe elevation list was tiles by elevation was a list of tiles, not a list of tile IDs. Yeah, tile elevations was a list of tiles. So technically, if I wanted the tile in question, I would just grab that particular element, I think. So let's test this out, right? Okay, we've disabled burst. Oops. We'll log out every 100,000s. First thing we do, ticker. Iterate that by 1 each time. If ticker is greater than, let's say, 50,000s, then we'll go ahead, reset ticker to 0, and then we'll log out the result of that specific tile. Let's do 10,000. 100 logs isn't that many. And then let's elevation. Will be tile dot elevation. Okay, that should be good. Let's test it. And it should be reflected in the log here. If I abruptly lose my connection, it's because there is a nasty thunderstorm about to hit me. Hopefully that won't happen. It's been losing power lately. Regular afternoon summer storms. Yeah. Oops, I forgot to set a more reasonable vegetation generation. Right now it's set for 500 years. Looks solid. Okay. We went from highest to lowest. Yeah, that looks right to me. Cool. Okay. Alright, so that step's good. We are now able to iterate through all tiles that we are interested in. Here's the tricky part, though. We have no need for a recurring while loop. In theory, all we need to do is go through every tile once, starting from the highest. We're still going to want to pass water and receive water. What we also need is to get a list of all of our variables that are available. Here, let's bounce out of here. I forget where we had defined them. It wasn't in utility. Society, no. Climate, no. World gen text, configuration. Loading graphics data. No. No, this is where we operators and casts. No. This is where all of the depot stuff goes. What was it? Tile. Worlds. World utility. I don't think so. World message. Definitely not world generator. This world.cs. Oh well, I'm just gonna need to. Hold on. Maybe I can just peek at definitions. LSON. Looks like this is it. I guess, okay, get set. That's fine. Water movement. Okay, there's January water movement. Okay, cool. Right, so we don't need to pass any variables through. We just get straight to coding.
Bye-bye, baby.
No, mommy. You don't get mommy. No, mommy. You don't get mommy. You don't deserve mommy. Here, just daddy. You can get daddy.
Okay. Okay, you want daddy? Or you want mommy?
Okay, you'll get daddy if you don't behave. I'm gonna get you. Okay, sorry about the Mongol invasion. It's great too. My kids are finally old enough to play video games with. We beat Breath of the Wild about a week ago. That was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it. They're playing Animal Crossing now. I see, right. Here's the router here. Okay. Your temperature. So let's do this. Let's dig up rivers, maybe. See how we handled them. I am back in Florida. Yeah. We're on work from home orders. And I've been working from home for 4 months, almost 5 months now. Could end up being the entire year, so we'll see. There hasn't been too much to follow during COVID, because COVID kind of messed everything up. But now I'm kind of settling back into a groove again. COVID happened, and I got reassigned to a new project that was chaotic. So things got a little crazy for a while, but now, despite the pandemic raging, nope, it's not released yet. Most of the vegetation was done, but yep, COVID happened, and then everything blew up, and now I'm only now getting back to it. I water my cinnamon load. Buffers and sand dunes, volcanic silts, jet rivers. Pretty sure it was just an even split we were dealing with. We were distributing water, generating alluvial texture, generating alluvial soils. Okay. Thanks. No, you have not missed much. And yeah, Florida is coronavirus land. It's crazy. It's off the chain right now. Fastest growth in the country. My dad tested positive, actually. So we all had to go into lockdown, my family, because we had been in contact with him. Sand dunes, volcanic silts, Jen Rivers. Let's take a peek at Jen Rivers. That's right. I needed all that true elevation stuff. So as far as debug variables go, should they still be names job? Oh, did I lose rivers? Yes, I did. How do I peek at them and go to base? No base. Okay, there we go. Shoot. It was tile sower. Tile sower. There we go. going on vacation in Minnesota tomorrow. Have a good vacation. So, here we go. Temp, float, temp, int. Okay. So let's test them out. Oh, temp float. Okay. Okay, so did we have temp booleans? I think we did. Yes, we did. Temp bool. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the river logic for water flow. Oh shit, we had to calculate true elevation ahead of time. That's right, because we had to account for the ice. All right, so we may want to grab this code. Counts. Tile.temp. There you go. Shoot, how do you rename it again? Refactor? The rain outside, yeah. Fitting for the job we're doing right now. I thought quick refactoring. Cannot rename this element. That's weird. Why is it? That's annoying. You can only rename things that have been declared. Okay. That's the problem. Oh, well, whatever. Tile. I don't have tile yet. I have to. I don't have elevations list yet either. There. Okay. So tile elevation. Tile temp floats. Tile ice. Assuming it's going to need to be recast. Okay, so that should stick all of our true elevation variables in. So let's save this. Let's express out all of our debug variables that we're interested in here. No. I think that's good. Yeah, we'll test this out for now. They weren't the crash. Yeah, we need to restart anyway. Make me some coffee real quick. Right back. Oh no. Totally left it spinning here. Whoa! Pause. Pause. Sorry. What was I doing again? That's right. I wanted to check to see if our debug variables were available. Oh, did it? It may have gotten wiped out. That's annoying. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and add all of them in. Oops. There we go. Okay, so that calculation seems to have worked. That's one big polarized cap, that's for sure. Okay. All right, so we are good there. So we went ahead and we calculated some preliminary higher elevate, or it's some sort of adjusted elevation. So let's go back to Jen Rivers. Oh no. And to find the start tiles of Rivers. Oh, we're constructing backwards here. Oh. So this doesn't really do us any good. We need to go back to Gen Dynamic Lakes. Thinking. Maybe. Maybe this is the phase where we need to be filling up tiles with water based on soil texture. Because now that we're coupling it with vegetation, that could be the way to go. But let's just get the water flow calculations going first. Water to give. So here's the thing. We can get rid of a lot of these checks now. See all this elevation check bullshit. Maybe no, we still need to. Let's think about this. So we're starting at highest tile in the world, draining down. It's never going to contribute any water that's higher to it, so maybe all we do is we keep a Boolean value on every tile. Anytime it transfers water, you switch it to false. It can only ever transfer water to tiles that are true. That way we can circumvent having to do all of these elevation calculations. Ocean tiles exist in the list now because as part of the process, the water needs to drain into water bodies, right? So as we're iterating through that list, we need to iterate over them. And I just realized something though. The first thing I realized is that we may not need this phase. Well, no, we do. The problem is we need our list that we initially populate to include ice. So, crap. So let's go to world generator. Up here, right? We need to add ice height here. Tile ice. For tile elevations. Okay, we added everybody in. This should work. I'm gonna have to retest it though. Oh wait, we can just we can print it out here. Wait, translist. What the hell is translist? Oh yeah, that's right. We needed to add it back. Okay, so let's just do this. Total elevation. Is going to be going to be I guess we had trans list. We had this tiles, and we had elevation list. Okay, so it should just be tile elevations, which we got a better idea. Let's not do it here. Right, because we want to test it after it's been loaded. So let's just test it here. Sorry, this is confusing. Tile temp float, that's fine. Then we want to operate off of elevations list. We're iterating from top to bottom. So now we just go ahead and print everything else. It'll be long, but I'd like to kind of browse through it. So that's fine. Total elevation. It's going to be tile.elevation plus tile.ice. And as a bonus, if tile ice is greater than 0, let's print something else out. Houston, do we have ice? All right, let's try that out. This will validate whether our list of elevations has the proper sorting. Oh yeah, now it's gonna be printing all of them out here. Oops. Houston, we have ice. Cool. Houston, we have ice. Houston, we have ice. Houston, we have ice. Okay, so we have a good bit of ice. I think we're good. You know what I need to do? I actually needed to print out elevation. Ice. Elevation. Ice. And there you go. Okay. Oh, that should do it. Oh, total elevation 4,800. Okay, but something's weird. Yeah, something's off here. Or is it? Holy fuck. How much ice do we have? Okay, Houston, we have ice. No, it's accurate. We just have some really crazy ice tiles. Ice elevation. Yeah, looks good. Have a little bit of ice there. Okay. Yeah, that's sort of the periphery of the glacier. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Um, And now we're down in the ocean. Okay. All right, time to get to the meat. So we're still going to want to pass water and receive water, but theoretically, all we have to do is set a Boolean on tiles, set them all to true, and once a tile has given its water, set it to false so that the tile will never be considered in water transfer calculations. So we can do that up here, right? Tile dot temp bool 1, set them all to true. Each time they pass their water on, we just set it to false. Delete this layer. So then we just get tile neighbors, I guess. I mean, the code should be pretty simple. You know, man, I just realized that if we had used this method initially for erosion, we could have gotten much more concise results. It's too bad. Whatever. Water variables, no higher neighbors. Water flow now. Yeah, what matters is... Okay, here's where we determine how much water each tile got. Yeah, unmoved water. We can also now accurately calculate what are we doing here? Check every tile. Unmoved water. This section locates all of our starting tiles for water flow. See, we don't need that. Doesn't matter. Okay, I know what we can do. So here's the cool part. We should be able to accurately calculate evaporation because we're only hitting every tile once. So we have the water, rain from the sky. We add it to the water that's moving through the tile. Apply some evaporation algorithm. Continue on the next tile. Should be simple. So much simpler. Okay, let's think of this differently. I'm not going to use gen dynamic lakes as too much of a template because a lot has changed. First step, so this needs to be independent of all previous tiles that operated. First step is we want to examine water that is in the tile. That is currently in transit, and add to that value local rainfall in tile. Add to that value. Second, we want to apply evaporation. To apply evaporation. Third, we then check all neighboring tiles. First, set tiles bool to false. Pretty first. Check all neighboring tiles for whether their bool is true. Determine how much each tile downstream gets. Determine how much each tile downstream gets. We need to check whether we are hitting a lake so as to stop, or ocean so as to stop the process. So first things first, temp bool equals false. So we need to figure out what variable we want to be our transit. Okay, we'll just make it temp float 1. We're going to add rainfall in that tile. We don't need to apply evaporation yet. Yeah, we don't need any of that yet. Modified evaporation. Oh no, this is, never mind. I think we calculated, yeah, unmoved water. Below value, reduce water, movable water. Oh, I see. Okay. Here's the thing, though. We want to do this twice for each season, right? We'll sort that out in a minute. We'll start just with January rainfall. Then we'll nest all of this in a while loop. And then we'll switch out the factors. All right, so tile, temp float, add rainfall January. Let's not worry about evaporation yet. Let's get the water flowing. Total highest time. What's happening? Remove water. Yeah, now we do the elevation stuff. If water to give, and iterate through neighbors. I wonder if grabbing neighbors still works the same. Right, it wouldn't be tile ID. What is the appropriate way to get tile neighbors now? Oh wait, hold on a minute. Tile get neighbor. Right. Oh wait, get neighbor count. That's already tile. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Get neighbors. Right, that was tile neighbors. The ID. Oh, okay. I think I know. Okay, so it just needs to be the tile that we have. Get neighbor count as a function. Yeah. Okay. So then we just have a loop now. tile. Gets neighbor. So it would have to take. Takes an integer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just to get this straight real quick. So get neighbor takes an integer as an argument.
Is it just called get neighbor? It's called get neighbor.
Yeah, and so I guess it just takes. It takes.
Oh, yeah.
Does that look right to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And
Cool.
then next tile is already active.
Okay. Then we use nate tile to do whatever elevation.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Okay. All right. Just making sure.
But because this whole setup is hopefully much easier to use for you.
I think so. Yeah. Just gotta get used to it. All right. I'll see you.
Okay, cool.
Here we sum the elevation difference of all neighboring tiles. We need to get the body ID too. Because if body ID is greater than 0, right? If there is water at the location, check the water level instead of the elevation. No, well. Let's do this. Right. His lands. Well, I think I gotta get some family time anyway. I'll work on this more later. I think I'm in a good place. Shouldn't be too difficult to replicate the code with this new method, though. I got a little work to do with my day job stuff too. So I'll see you guys later.